So a little bit about me, who I am, what I've been through, how I got here. I've taught at Covenant College, Lookout Mountain, Georgia, a Christian liberal arts school, four-year university on top of Lookout Mountain, Georgia. That was a wonderful place to be, and it was very consistent with my belief system and wonderful. And then I got totally bored with it, and I think they were quite bored with me, to be quite honest, after about 3 years. So I moved on from there, went to work for KPMG Consulting. It's now called Bearing Point. The consulting branch is called Bearing Point. KPMG is the accounting side of things now. And then I was there for a little under a year, and then got caught up in their reduction in forces, their RIF, and so got laid off, and that was fine. I understood going in why they paid me so much, and I understood the layoff. It was just a numerical thing, and just turned out that way. From there, I just did a brief stint working in Romania on not in Romania, but on a project that involved Romania, and going there a couple times. All in all, had been to Romania 3 or 4 times 15 years ago. And then I mentioned that I went on the Fulbright to Romania. My wife and I went 2 years ago, and then last year for a trip for 20 days. I needed to reassure her that that was a safe place and a nice place. And then last year we spent the whole year in Cluj, which is not the capital, but a wonderful city. You can look it up, C-L-U-J, wonderful place. I miss it and really want to spend some of my summers there for sure going forward. Made a lot of friends. It was a great experience. So I was at Lookout Mountain, Georgia at Covenant College, and then KPMG Consulting, and then I worked at University of South Carolina in Beaufort. We were going to a 4-year status from a 2-year to 4-year school right as I took that job. And ironically, not ironically, but I mean, importantly, I had taken that job, and then I was diagnosed with my first cancer. And I was really blessed to have that job waiting for me when I was healed and able to do it about a year later. So that was great. I served as their department chair and did a lot of the administrative things to, become a 4-year school. And that was worked a lot, and it was really rewarding for me. And then I got bored of them, and they got bored of me, I'm sure. And I moved on, and I ended up down here in Orlando at UCF. Really late in the hiring process, really in the summer of 2007, and I met with the chair, and they offered me the position, and it was just great. It's been great ever since. I've never been anywhere in my life more than 6 years in my entire life, even as a kid, and never had a job more than 5 years. I mean, I just get bored and move on, or they get bored of me, and I move on. Well, usually I'm bored of them too, but in any case, it just worked out, and here I am all these years later, pinching myself because it still turned out to be a really good job. I mean, I really enjoy and respect the people I'm working with, and been a great job. I've loved the students. I've had over 20,000 students in these last 11 years as of 2018, and just cherish the opportunity to have influence over people. You can have a little influence over someone early in a process, early on. It's just kind of like compounding your money. I keep telling my wife, I'm 51, so we have a couple of, typically you say 7 years, 7%, you double your money. So I've got about 14 years. So every penny we put in our retirement fund now can kind of double twice. If I put in $10,000 now, it turns to 20 and then it turns to 40. It's pretty powerful. You know that concept. I mean, you're aware of that. And if you influence someone's life early on in their career, in their teen years or something, whatever, you have the opportunity to make a really profound effect in the long run. And that's really my goal. We have you when most of you are relatively young. And so I really am much more interested in trying to say and teach things that are of greater impact that will last than covering a ton of material. The book covers the material, you have to study that and learn it and take the test on it. So the academics is what it is. It's honestly not that hard if you're diligent. If you're not, it can really catch up to you, and a relatively easy class can all of a sudden become a thorn in your side. And I really encourage you to stay up on it for that reason, if nothing else. But the idea of something early on making a tremendous change in the long run is kind of like the idea of a fulcrum, a large, long pole. You know, if you change a fulcrum that's only this tall, you know, this is the beginning and this is the end. You know, you have the opportunity to change it just that much, see the end. But if you change the same fulcrum that's so much earlier on, you change it the same degrees, you see it makes a big difference in where the tip ends up. And that concept is really, I think about that a lot. I think about the potential impact that you and I can have on one another's lives. And as a teacher, I think about that this gives me a sense of purpose in what I do, is that it's more than just learning some kind of concept that you'll know in your head for a little while. I hope that some of the lessons that I'll spend a little bit of time with will last. That's the goal. I think I will have presented to you already in this course the Guido Sarducci 5-Minute University skit from Saturday Night Live. And though that's really funny, it's also really true. You know, the goal is that you would have something left from this class more than some menial knowledge, some tacit knowledge of terms and concepts, but you actually will have thought through something so that in 5 years and in 10 years, it will have the potential to have impacted you. And an impact early on can have a big impact in the long run. So I don't want to sound too self-absorbed, but I mean, that's my goal, is to really have that kind of impact. It's for you, it's not for me. So noticing, you can see my tattoo that says Simul Justus et Peccator, which means simultaneously saint and sinner, roughly. It's from Martin Luther, it's in Latin. And this other one says Tetelestai. Tetelestai means it is finished, and that's important to me, in that the work of my Savior was finished on the cross. That's what it means to me. I like them because I only got them years ago, but so it was 49 and 48 and 51 or something when I got them. But I got them because tattoo is pretty serious business for me, and these are things I know that I would never want to change. They're principles and beliefs that I hold that I'd love for anyone to ask me, what does that mean, for instance? And so I love telling people. They're often not that interested when I start to unravel it, but nonetheless, they ask, so I can tell them. I hope this class is a great one for you. Struggling with the video recording. Maybe this one's harder than the other ones because it's long. I'm trying to connect with you, but I'm just looking at a camera all by myself, walking around my house, trying to make it interesting. I'll do my best. And I'm going to edit this one down a little bit, and hopefully it'll be okay, and the rest will just get better. So God bless each of you. Thank you for being in the class. I'm here. Reach out to me anytime. Make sure, again, I'm sure I'll say this in other videos, but refer to the syllabus. Really keep track of your calendar, when the tests are, when the quizzes are, when your mandatory attending sessions are. Come prepared, follow the directions, and that's going to be a lot of what the success in this class is about. Just being diligent, being persistent, being conscientious over the course of the whole 16 weeks. It is a large class, so it's impossible for any of us faculty doing this to have one-on-one discussions and one-on-one email back and forth with every single student about everything covered in the syllabus. We're relying on you to be responsible men and women, and look up the materials and follow those directions. Thanks very much. I'm looking forward to this semester. It's going to be a reach for me, a stretch in making these videos. I'm going to do my best to make them kind of interesting and try to put myself in different situations and, you know, wear some different clothes or something. I don't know. Anyway, God bless. I'll see you soon.